Are you new to real estate, struggling in real estate, cash buyer, wholesaler, and you're looking for better ways to close more deals? You're in the right place. Each week, I pick a random house off the internet, I analyze it for a cash deal and a creative deal. Whether you're starting out or already seasoned, this podcast was specifically designed to give you practical tools that you can use right away. Welcome to the Corner Barn. I am Chris Thompson, that bearded guy, the creative guy, second generation realtor and investor with 19 years in the business. When I started this podcast, my goal was simple. It was to help struggling investors and beginners close their first deal or their next deal, all while using low to no cost tools to analyze properties and craft strong offers. This is the weekly deal analysis. Let's get into the show. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Before we dive into this analysis, if you would hit that like button for me, I really appreciate it and it helps the channel. If you think somebody else might be interested in this content, share it with them and I'd appreciate it even more. This week, we had another request from one of our YouTube followers to do an analysis in Colorado. We picked 217 Vita Ave in Pueblo, Colorado, 81004. This is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,104 square feet, and they are asking $195,000. They have also been on the market for 462 days. So there's definitely something wrong here, and we're going to dissect this thing and see if we can't make an offer on it. Everything looks clean outside. We got some solar panels. Could be good, could be bad. Virtual staging. So this shows you what it could look like. Now, I've never been a fan of virtual staging. It generally looks kind of cheap to me. What are your thoughts on it? Big window fan. No central air. Register there. Bedroom, bathroom. This is a little jacked up here. Not a fan of that wall color. Really old tile in here. What is this? That is concerning for water. Gas cooking. Basement. All right, so we got a gas furnace and a gas water heater. Oh goodness, there's no yard on this thing. Half the fence has fallen down. Is this the side yard and there is no backyard? Maybe. I'm not sure how that's playing out there. Oh, good. They do have the floor plan tour. So entry, there's a front room, laundry over here. I think this is the kitchen, actually. No, kitchen's over here. Very weird, interesting layout. One bedroom here on the main level. Basement. Basement's just a big blank slate. And it's only showing one other bedroom on the 3rd floor. So I don't know how they're calling this a 3-bedroom, but from the floor plan, I'm only seeing a 2-bedroom. The zoo and park, and very pretty around the area. All right. What else can we find here? What is the agent telling us? Goes to the park, the zoo, the pool. Basement for storage, so it is definitely unfinished. Kitchen, dining room, you can add breakfast bar, measures. Good rent for 1,400. That's good. Solar is owned, which is a big issue. A lot of times it's leased, and the new owner has to take over that lease, and it's generally not favorable. So they're saying they only pay like $10 a month, which would be great for our tenant, but they're only paying about $10 a month in their electric bill. Still not seeing three bedrooms. And this is saying there's two bedrooms on the main level. Being that this thing's on the market so long, we're gonna just, and the floor plan says it's only showing two bedrooms, we're gonna break it down as a two bedroom. They started back in October of 24 at 240 and been chasing things down ever since. They pay for it. Looks like they bought it in 22 for 187. Ultimately, I would say it's worth about the same. Um, Property taxes, not bad at all. Property taxes are actually very reasonable here. Permitting, looks like they did a lot of rehab in 23. Let's see what this one is. Same street, just a few doors down. All right, so in November of 25, this sold for 175,000. It was a little bit smaller, but it's still a two bedroom. What else we got? All right, so remember that 175 is our comp. If you don't know what a comp is, it's just a comparable home. Listing price median 220, 175 is a median sold price, and 100 days on the market. We can see same street here. No, too old. Hmm. And back in on 2020, this sold for 130. Hmm. All right. So we know we have a comp at 175. Let's see what else Realtor is telling us here. These numbers 92, 90, 85. Got a lot of twos, 219, 95. This is for sale at 194 and it's about 800 square feet larger. What else? Things sold or under contract in here? No. Metal pricing, 15, about our same square footage there, but this has two full baths and three bedrooms. Apartment, living with a house for rent, 1450. I think we have everything we can get off of Realtor. Now we're going to go over to the Invest Nest and analyze the cash deal. I have it pulled up here on the Invest Nest. Love this site. I'll drop a link below. And if you want to try it out, you get 50% off your first month and your first week for free. Super user friendly and very budget friendly. I think it's like 40 bucks a month. So they're saying it's worth 192, estimated value, estimated rents, 1480. So that sticks with the 1400 that agent was saying. Overview. Under details, if you want to skip trace, they include this in their service. So just click that button and then you'll get all the seller's contact information and you can call them directly. FHA loan in 22 for 183. Warrant, nothing. All right, let's run some numbers, shall we? 217 beta or purchase price. All right, if you followed the show at all, what are we going to do for our offer price? I think we're going to go with an ARV or after repair value of $185,000. You guessed it, 70% of that. Break out my calculator here because I can't do math in my head. So we're saying 185 is all we think that thing is top worth times 70% is going to be 129.5. We'll round up just to be nice at 130. We will pay both sides of closing costs, and that's going to be about 4%. Our lender charges, whether you're using an investor loan or a regular loan, you're paying about 2 points. Improvement costs, this thing looks pretty clean. There are some things I would probably do to it, but for this purpose, we're just going to say no repairs, it's perfect. Down payment would be 25%. Our loan terms, we want to kick out to 30 years. And I was quoted last week at 6.75 on an investor loan. And our rents, we're going to jump over and double check the Section 8 or HUD website to see what they're offering. Got it pulled up here on the HUD Section 8 website. I will drop a link for this below. And they are saying for a 2-bedroom, they will pay up to $1,200, for a 3-bedroom, up to $1,550. I think we're going to stick with that 14 number just to play it safe because we're getting conflicting numbers all over the place. We're going to stick to that 1,400. So 1,400 for rent. Property taxes look good. Insurance, I'm going to do 1,500 or 125 a month. Property management fee, 10%. Our tenant's going to be paying the utilities. Our reserve fund, so 5% for repairs and maintenance, vacancy, and CapEx. CapEx going to be our big stuff, but essentially we're keeping 15% of each month's profit, putting that into a separate account. So when something goes wrong or we have vacancy, that money is there and we're not having to dig into our true profits to come up with that. Our appreciation rate is going to be about 2%. We'll leave our rent rate at 2% also. Plan to hold it for 10 years, and we are real estate investors. We don't pay full commissions, so 5% on that. All right, let's see what these numbers spit out. You were waiting to see a number, weren't you? Quick pause. If you haven't done so already, please hit that like button, and if you would, also share it with somebody. Now, back to the numbers. All right, we got a positive cash flow, 216.55. So for $40,000 out of pocket, you can bring home clearing net to 1655 per month. That's with a 32.5 down payment. And our cap rate, if you follow that, it's more of a multifamily thing. 7, almost 8% DSCR, debt service coverage ratio, just an investor loan basically, but they generally look for like a 1.2 or 1.25, so this works. Cash on cash, about 6.5. Return on investment is almost 16%, so that's a good number as well. If you follow the 1% rule, it does work. And here is the analysis of all of the breakdowns. So your property taxes, just another thing that the InvestNest does that I love. Just helps me track all my numbers. So just good money all the way throughout. They do all kinds of different analysis on here. You would be fully recouped by year 4. You'd have your original investment back in 4 years. That's one of the things I always look for is how quickly can I get my original investment back? After that, it's all an infinite return because it's OPM or other people's money. Now that we got the cash number, which is good, we're going to do my favorite part and analyze the creative side. This is my creative calculator. You can download it off of my website, christhompsonteam.com. There's a whole bunch of useful tips on there, and I'll drop the link below as well. So our ARV or after repair value, we said was going to be the 185,000. On a creative deal, I'm going to offer a whole heck of a lot more. So let's see what we can get away with offering that full 185. 185, and our interest rate we're going to offer them would be, let's try 4%. Now, our PITI, or principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, I'm going to jump over to Bankrate to figure that out. This is Bankrate, just bankrate.com. I will also have a link below. So our offer price is going to be 185,000. I want to offer 5% down at 4% interest, and our zip code is 81004. Property tax 76. Wrong button. 76 on property taxes, and homeowners insurance is going to be 125, and I don't see an HOA in there. That makes our total payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, $1,040. $1,040. And our potential rents we said were 1,400. Ouch. $10 a month cash flow. Not a very good deal. So maybe if we put a little bit more down, maybe we go 10% down. Want to try that? 10% down. That stays the same. Good. All right. So now obviously we just doubled our down payment, but that brought it down a decent amount. So 996. 6. All right, $54 a month. Still not a great, still not great. What if we change that to 2% with 10% down? 2%. 816. 816. All right, now we at least have the same rough math on everything. So we're going to give them their price as long as they can give us our terms that allow us to make this a good cash flowing property. So, hey, we'll give you the 10% down. So that would jump over here. So that 10% was 18.5. Agent commissions. This agent's not doing anything. Let's see if we can throw $500 to make them go away. There is no assignment fee because we're not working with a wholesaler. Closing cost is going to be that same 4 points. Renos, we said we're not factoring any of that stuff in. 2 months of holding is just 2 months of this mortgage payment. No arrears, and a good TC or transaction coordinator will be about $1,500. So all in $30,000 on a seller finance deal with no price increases. You will have your money back in your pocket you will have your money back in your pocket in 10 and a half years at $234 a month, sticking 210 in the war chest and paying your property manager. So all in 30 grand versus, what's this one? 40 grand. So you're saving about 10 grand to get the same rough net number. Cash deal, creative deal, which one do you like best? For me personally, I'm going to keep that extra 10 grand in my pocket and try really hard to get that deal to close. And we're also paying about $50,000 more on the creative side. So we're trying to use that cash offer to get the seller motivated to take our seller financed offer. Make sense? Big shout out to our YouTube follower for recommending this one today. And we will be back next week. I'm not sure where we're going to do a property, but that is going to do it here in the corner barn on the weekly deal analysis. I am Chris Thompson, that bearded guy, the creative guy. We will see you next week.